his role in Men at Work.
Oh God, man! I forget about that flick, man. I mean, he's a great actor. He's a great weird. He's just a very strange character actor. But I really just thought that it was so fucked up of his table to fucking double charge me for the same 8x10 that fucking Piper was selling. It was just
I don't
like,
know how that works. I never paid for an autograph.
God, those fucking con guys, man. I mean, it really is. It's so funny that they call them cons because it's a goddamn con. It's a fucking dude. They're shysters, all of them, whatever. But anyway. Keith David's best role, The Thing. The Thing, by the way, all-time best movie ever. John Carpenter's best work.
What about the original, The Thing?
It's one of my favorites, yeah. Great movie. I watched it when I was a little kid.
Do you know that Frank Darabont, what's his name? Frank Darabont? I think I fucked it up. Anyway, the guy that did the screenplay for The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption, he fucking did a screenplay for a remake of The Thing, and I think it got rejected. And I haven't read it, but I mean, how do you reject a screenplay from an Oscar?
You mean another remake yet?
Yeah, I think they're going to try and redo it again.
They are planning on remaking The Thing.
Which
nothing's safe.
They should just leave it alone already.
Yeah.
They already remade it. Now they have to remake it again.
Yeah.
Dude, John, we didn't even get to what you wanted to say, man. What did you have for us?
Oh, dude, it's kind of like a comedic role, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, still, it's pretty funny. Like the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Yeah, those Mars Attack Martians. They were.
I feel like they were kind of like
intentionally funny. Yeah, it doesn't.
I feel like they. Yeah, I actually feel like they were like the Gremlins, but just repackaged as aliens. You know? Yeah.
I guess, man. But yeah, it was still pretty fucking. I don't know. It was kind of lame.
I think that's where Tim Burton started to go downhill. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but it was like, you know,
started to go downhill.
It was like.
It was very tongue in cheek. I mean, it was. I understand like the whole style. It was supposed to be that '50s era, you know, tongue-in-cheek feel. But I think I got to agree. I mean, Tim Burton, he was a powerhouse for quite some time, and then all of a sudden he kind of faded away into obscurity, and no one really cares about.
You know, I can't imagine. One thing we were talking about was I can't imagine Tim Burton directing Jack Nicholson, because when you think about it, Tim Burton is such an eccentric guy. If you've seen him in interviews and stuff. He's just very, like, socially awkward and stuff. It's just very funny to imagine him doing Batman. It's like, I think about that, I'm like, wow, like, how did that happen? But anyway, I think we got one more bad guy.
You want to go right to it?
Sure.
Yeah, it's about time. Let's fucking check it out, dude. The #1 baddest bad guy. Let's hear it.
I hope you are, because I'm not. But here it goes.
I can't believe you loaned me your car without telling me it had a blind spot. I could have been killed.
Biggest movie badass is Biff.
Your insurance should pay for it. I want to know who's going to pay for this. I spilled beer all over when that car smashed into me. Who's going to pay my cleaning bill?
I think he'd have to make #1, regardless of how I constructed this list.
You know you want it. You know you want me to give it to you.
Shut your filthy mouth. I'm not that kind of girl.
Oh, well, maybe you are and you just don't know it yet.
Everything he does, he's just a real shithead, harassing women.
I mean, you're my girl.
Being mean to little kids.
Go get it!
And yelling at his older self.
Get the hell out of my car, old man!
Besides being so hilarious and having so many catchphrases, he really is an interesting villain because there's so many different versions of his character from different time periods as well as alternate timelines. We explore the complete range of how many ways this guy turns out, but except for Nice Biff in 1985, he's always an asshole and always the #1 baddest bad guy. I like the explosion.
I got to agree. I think Biff, that was a good #1.
You didn't think you were going to agree, but then when you heard Biff, you're like, all right.
Yeah, man, you know what? The guy on the phone, he had me going. I thought that, I thought it was blown for me.
Yeah.
And, definitely Biff, man.
Biff
is such a fucking scumbag. I mean, like, it's been brought up so many times, man, but, just the fact that, like, there was a movie where, like, there was an attempted rape.
Yeah.
And time travel.
Yeah. And it's like a kid's movie, too.
Yeah, it's a kid.
Yeah.
They made a ride about it, kids.
Yeah.
Like, you could go on the rape ride at Universal.
Even his relatives were dicks, too, in Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the fucking Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Mad Dog chatted.
Nobody calls me Mad Dog. I hate that name.
Yeah, there was Griff, which was his grandson.
Oh, right. He was the 2015 version of Biff.
Yeah,
right?
whose name is Griff?
Griff.
Gramps! Well, my favorite thing about I remember reading The Connection, and it was like Griff's hoverboard was like the bulldog or something, and it was like it was supposed to be some kind of some psychotic foreshadowing to Mad Dog Cannon, and it was just like, who the fuck is ever going to think about that and put that together? Jesus Christ!
Does anybody disagree with Biff?
No, I gotta think that Biff is definitely a cunt. I mean, if you're asking me, dude, I mean, what a fucking asshole. He really is a scumbag.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. I mean, that was a good list, and I couldn't even think of somebody that's gonna top Biff.
Yeah.
As the biggest fucking movie scumbag of all time.
Ideas on the phone
video game?
No, not really. No,
I don't think
anything
so.
good.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably head towards a break. What do we got going on here,
All right.
James?
What's
Well,
next,
we got
James?
movies that rhyme.
That rhyme.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Jaws, Rebel Without a Cause, Applause, The Santa Claus, movies that rhyme with Kindergarten Cop, Bus Stop, Barbershop, Operation Dumbo Drop, American Pop, Beverly Hills Cop, Cash Crop, Over the Top. Movies that rhyme with Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Lois and Clark, South Park, A Shot in the Dark, Narc, Joan of Arc, Bark. Movies that rhyme with Judge Dredd, Eraserhead, King Vidor's Our Daily Bread, Night of the Living Dead, Playboy, Playmates in Bed, Drop Dead, Fred, Fistful of Lead, Rose Red, Beavis and Butthead, He Said, She Said, Extreme Guitar Shred, Father Ted, Dead Ahead, Club Dread.
Well, that's that. So
What is that?
Yeah. Well, so that one was basically just a complete.
How long did that take you to make, James? What was the inspiration for that one?
Very random. That's all I can say. It's probably the most random. Yeah. So let's check this little clip out right here.
Which one?
Holy
Track
shit.
11?
Yeah.
I'll just say it at this point. It's okay.
Holy shit!
I think that just needed to go over national radio. I just needed to hear that little kid saying "Holy shit."
That's like a buddy of yours, right? You guys shot that when you were younger, right?
Yeah. That was from a movie I made called Droppings, which was about bird turds that this guy's getting shat on by birds.
How old were you then?
Holy shit!
I don't remember. Like 17, I think. Actually, I wasn't really that young, but
Holy shit!
it's just great. You know, I just needed to hear that.
Yeah, you know what?
We're gonna move over to angry nerd topic pretty soon. So I'm just gonna say, just to close the non-AVGN material, maybe check out this zombie film I made called The Deader the Better. This was a film I shot like a few years ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think I actually I saw there's actually a really cool it's kind of like a mini documentary on how you got into this whole thing.
Yeah.
I've never seen it on cinema. I think actually Mike turned me on to it. And it's actually a little it's not just like a 2-3 minute thing. I mean it's a piece. It goes on for quite a while about how you got into filmmaking. It's quite an interesting
cool
video.
Yeah, I'm really glad a lot of people were able to relate to that or be inspired by it, because that's how it happened for me. I just would get inspired by hearing other people's stories. And what I have, if you go to Cinemassacre.com and then go to videos, it's usually the first one you see, or under favorites, and it's basically a like 20-minute documentary about how I got into movie making, and I just talk about how I used to edit movies on 2 VCRs and like shoot in my backyard and stuff. So
I remember watching that one night, and it was just so frustrating, just because like I know how that feels, like where you want to do something, you're not quite sure how to go about doing it, but you're gonna do your best to do it, and just watching you try to fucking make a movie. And you're like dubbing and redubbing from VCR to VCR to VCR to VCR. It's just like shit, dude. I know the feeling that you have trying to do that.
Well, now of course there's Final Cut Pro and all this
Right,
all this
exactly.
stuff, but
that's how it was,
back then
man.
just
That's
two
how it
VCRs,
was.
Yeah.
just 2 VCRs.
and it wasn't even that long ago either. Like
No.
it was just like all this computer stuff just happened. It was like, wow, like okay, this is a lot easier.
Man, good thing for that shit.
Yeah.
Because who knows, man? Imagine trying to do that shit now. All these guys on YouTube, trying to fucking put these dumbass videos together with
two
fucking
VCRs.
two VCRs.
I'm glad that I didn't have YouTube back when I was making my old movies, because they would have all been on YouTube and they sucked.
I mean, dude, this show is flying by, man. I can't believe we only got an hour to go. The fucking phone lines are packed. There's not one empty line available. I think we should take a break. We'll come right back. We'll have more with James with Cinemassacre Radio, the Angry Video Game Nerd, and pals. And we'll take some more of your phone calls after the break. 866-969-1969. That's 866-WOW1WOW. Cinemassacre Radio. We will be right back. Cinemassacre Radio, everybody. James Rolfe, angry video game nerd, as he is known throughout the interwebs. His buddies, Mike Matei? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, that's right. Mike Matei.
Yeah, I'm Matt Manahan. I did camera work on maybe 9 of the episodes. And I also directed a film called Book of Caleb.
Book of Caleb. Yeah, I remember that from the list.
The only thing we didn't talk about in Book of Caleb and talking about Die Hard and stuff was that Paul Gleason, that was his last film. And Paul Gleason, you know, as the... He was the principal in Breakfast Club, and he was the cop in Die Hard, the one that, not Reginald Vell Johnson, obviously, but the one who is like his superior in the movie. The one who's being a dick, basically.
Yeah, the dick cop in Die Hard, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, Paul Gleason's last movie.
Dude, we have fucking packed phone lines, man. What do you want to take?
Let's take that first one. What's up?
Roston, is that your name?
Yeah, Ralston.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I was just going to talk about, y'all were talking about the deader the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did it, I never saw anything, other videos about it, the commentary. Was that a real cemetery? Because I'm not sure.
Well, no, my inspiration for that movie was like the classic 1930s and 40s, like Universal Studio horror film. So what I was into was doing like an artificial cemetery. So kind of what we did, I filmed the whole thing in my parents' garage, so it's actually indoors. What we did was we just covered the walls with like black fabric and put trees in there. Yeah, filled it up with fog so it looked like it's outside, covered the floor in dead leaves. And how I made the tombstones was I just carved them out of styrofoam, and first I spray painted them black and like chiseled them out basically, and then painted like a layer of white over that, so it kind of made like a gray but black like within the cracks. So basically what you have is like this this fake cemetery that just looks like an old horror film.
Roston, your mom's calling you. I think she wants something.
Oh no.
What does she want?
What does your mom want? Who was that? Roston, who was that?
That was that was my
mom. What does she want?
I don't know. She's calling my sister to eat or something like that.
James, speaking of Dead of the Better, didn't you have like a soundbite from that?
I have
you
a clip.
Yeah,
we can like talk over it or whatever if we can. But
what is this? So this is just a clip from the film.
Yeah, The Dead of the Better was like a 17-minute zombie film that I made, and we just have a clip of it here. This is like a 3-minute sort of condensed version of the movie.
Let's take a listen.
I work in a cemetery. That's what I say to people. I just spare them the details because nobody would understand or even believe me. This is a place where people bury their loved ones, but I think it's just a waste of space.
What just happened?
My job title is too unusual and too gruesome for most people. The undertaker prepares the bodies for burial, puts them underground. It's my job to make sure those bastards stay there.
All right, listen. I'm hearing it, and I don't want to call you out, but this sounds exactly like a movie I've seen before. Have you heard this before?
Cemetery Man.
Cemetery Man.
Everybody says that just because the guy works in a cemetery.
Cemetery Man.
But I don't see the similarities other than that. Like I said, my inspirations were like the Universal horror movies and Night of the Living Dead. Like that's where it's all coming from. Cemetery Man has like a love interest, and it's a very different kind of movie, and he uses a gun for the zombies, but I don't see where else the similarities are.
It is, but just simply because this is the first I'm ever hearing of, this is the first, it reminds me a lot. I'm not saying that you're ripping it off, I'm just saying that from what I've heard so far, and Cemetery Man is a fucking ridiculous flick. It's fucking nuts. I think Rupert Everett is the star of that film. It's a weird foreign Italian zombie film, and I recommend it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
I saw it back when I was in high school, but I do hear that a lot, and like I don't understand why it keeps reminding people of it, but you know, if it reminded